All right, let's get down to some of the nitty gritty. You mentioned the run game, and I thought specifically what stood out to me, right in your wheelhouse, not just running between the tackles, but running between the guards.
Yeah.
It felt like they had a lot more success. What did you see there?
Yeah, from what I saw in the run game, more connected, right? And more getting to the right people. Now, it wasn't perfect. There was definitely some ones, I saw where it was like, missed opportunities, but it didn't create negative plays. When you watch the sideline this week, you saw the offensive line moving guys off the ball. You saw these guys getting up to linebackers, and you could see the fruits of the labors from that. I mean, Antonio Gibson, big run. Mondre had a great day. Like, that's what it takes is like the one Antonio Gibson, the one I saw of his, the big run down in the red area.
Yep.
They ran the wham scheme, which is a variation of the blast scheme, which I think we might have talked about, or I talked about on Twitter last week. Like, perfect execution. He's not touched, the free safety. And there was multiple plays in the run game where it's like 6-7 yard runs, and it's the down safety making the play. And that's great. And another thing I noticed that is more of a talking point overall, but it's a great example in the run game that I saw, just Drake taking control of the run game. There was a play early in the second quarter. You can see Drake, he gets up to the line, whatever their alert was, he alerts the play, brings Matt Collins in, and this is where these like not mic'd up, but where the guards always have microphones so you can hear the snap count, and that's where you can hear some of the conversation on the film or the TV copy. Literally saw this, and he alerts it. I hear him bring Matt Collins in, tells Matt Collins who he's got, and it was a great, I think that was Mondre's big run of the day, and it was, to me, that was a culmination of kind of everything we talked about last week, where we were like, he didn't look comfortable, the O-line didn't, the run game wasn't great. To me, it was just the culmination of that improvement, the O-line doing their job, Drake taking command, being that general on the field, right? Like, hey, we're going to alert. This is the look. Matt, come in. You've got that guy. Like, that's what it takes, and that's what you need your quarterback to do. I thought Drake played great throughout the whole game, but I think that example right there was just a culmination of all of that we kind of talked about last week we didn't see, that I thought he did a good job. There was a couple other things I thought, speaking on Drake, like down, they were moving the ball. You can tell we'll do different things where like 3rd and 1, 2nd and 1 sometimes. Those are good shot plays, 2nd and 1 especially, but they were down in the red area, maybe just outside the red area. So it's not really a shot opportunity, condensed fields, but like 2nd and 1 from the 50 as the offensive coordinator, now you're thinking, man, we could hit a big explosive here, because if you don't get it, it's 3rd and 1. And that's, pretty favorable position. So they get up to the line, you can see Drake looking, he's got his read to go to his quarterback sneak, alerts it, boom, quarterback sneak on 2nd and 1, fresh set of downs. Like that's just growth, commanding the offense, which I just thought he did a lot of great things yesterday, in my opinion. And it was a great overall game from that standpoint.
Something else we talked about, I thought his pocket awareness, him moving in the pocket, was much better, and it felt like it freed some of the linemen up maybe to be a little more aggressive in their blocking.
No, you do. I thought that was some really good areas of his game this week that I thought, like stepping up into pockets, getting the ball out, feet were more connected. That's something I don't know that much about, but from talking to Hoyer and different things last week, he said, it just never seemed like when he did move in the pocket, his feet got set and he put the ball where he wanted to. He did that a lot, and this is a play that was early on, the first sack of the game.
Yep.
They took a shot midfield. It was a Kyle Williams, I think, trying to get him active, speed, different things like that. They took a shot. It's really one of those plays. If it's not there, it's not there. And he took a sack on that play. And
is that the one where they faked the end around to Henderson?
Yes. So it's a long developing play because you got to let the guy get obviously in space. And I looked at that play and I was like, this morning watching it, and I was like, okay, it's a sack, but that's okay. It's not okay. I guess what I'm trying to say is he didn't force anything.
It's better than throwing the ball to something that's not there.
Exactly.
And turnover-worthy play.
Yeah,
and
sometimes like it's when a play's not there, sometimes you just got to eat it. And he couldn't have gotten outside of the pocket to throw it away. You know, the route was something where the guy's on the sideline, you can throw it out. So right there, it's like, you know, his checkdowns didn't get out. Like, just eat it and move on. And they ended up scoring that drive. So, like, things like that, you know, to a fan sometimes maybe don't look like a good play. To me, I was like, that's okay. You know,
Right.
like, that's okay. And there was just a lot of things I thought he did where we talk about taking the profit, right? Like, I think on that same drive, the next play he hit Mondre short. Mondre got to, like, I think it was 4th and 2 or
Yeah,
something
they had a
like that.
long third down, and he made a couple of people miss.
And I'm sure, and I know this for a fact, I could hear sometimes when Josh would be in the headset, like telling Tom, like, hey, you have 2 downs here.
right.
So, like, I'm sure that got to Drake. Drake realizing, like, let me get this ball to this guy who's a really good player. And, you know, if you see what Mondre did, gets it to 4th and 2 or whatever it was, we go for it, convert. Like, that to me was growth and maturity from Drake, decision making that I just thought was excellent all day from him.
Something else they did with him, we saw them roll him out more, some of those moving pockets, things like that. How do you think that made it easy for him and his alignment? How does that impact your approach?
Yeah, I mean, twofold though. The running game was going.
Right.
They were very efficient running the ball. I think they averaged, let me see here. I think it was 4.2 a run.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, just 4.2 a run, you know, yard per carry. When you're able to do that, opens up a lot more in the play action game. And with a guy like that, you get him on the edge. And those type of plays are easy one for the O-line. Take some stress off the O-line. Take stress off of him. And, you know, it gets a guy like that in space where you're putting the defenders in sometimes a bind because the nearest guy, usually, you know, you're going to have a short guy on those, right? And then you might have a guy a little deeper. So that short guy, it puts him in a tough position because he's like, do I step up and defend the run? And then he can dump it to the short guy and it becomes a bigger play. Do I cover my guy? And he takes off runs for 7 yards. And he did some of that yesterday in the pocket where, you know, outside the pocket, in the pocket, sometimes taking it down and running. Like, that's, to me, what I want to see from him. Not necessarily him, like, he doesn't need 20 design runs. Like, but just, you got the weapon, roll out. If nothing's there, take 6 yards. It's a great play. You know, I mean, you wish you could draw up plays to get easy 6 yards. And he just took the profit all day long yesterday when it was there. And, you know, we always say you wanted to end every drive with a kick. And they did that yesterday. Every drive ended with a punt, field goal, or extra point. And, you know, that's a winning success. There's a lot of stats, you know, when you would sit here and look at it, that if you didn't tell me the score and told me these two teams played, this is team A stat, team B stat, I would say the Patriots won. Red area, 3 for 4. Third down, 7 for 12. Fourth down, 1 for 1. 4.2 yards per carry. No turnovers and a 2-point conversion.
Yeah.
If you didn't tell me what teams that were, I said that team won the football